Welcome, everyone, to the Saturday Ram Ashram Satsang practice session, where in 1 hour you will learn a modern satsang technique for obtaining an enlightened, stress free, healthy, and peaceful life. My name is Eddie, and I will be introducing today's facilitator. But first, I'd like to give you a brief introduction to today's practice session. Please refer to your screen. There you'll find the first element, satsang. Satsang is a scientific method whereby we can obtain an enlightened, stress free, healthy, and peaceful life. There is no particular physical ability, special skills required to begin this practice. Satsang consists of two words, sat and sang. Sat means positive energy, and sang means to be in the presence of or to be with. So the word satsang means to be in the presence of positive energy. The next element, meditation. Meditation is an important element of satsang. When we meditate, our minds become calm and our thoughts become pure. And this is the beginning point of true transcendental ascent in our work of satsang. Only then can we obtain enlightenment, or what is called nirvana. Inner orientation. There are two types of satsang, outer satsang and inner satsang. Outer satsang has the capability of changing our personalities and behaviors. And a form of outer satsang would be chanting or ritual worship or pilgrimages. But only through inner satsang can we obtain the higher states of consciousness and achieve what we call enlightenment and nirvana. Group orientation. Today's weekend practice session is structured for group participation. When we meditate as a group, our focus is enhanced and our progress on our spiritual path is expedited. When you return each week for these practice sessions, you benefit from amplifying the effects of group participation, and you also have the opportunity to perfect your technique. Joy and inner happiness. All people wish to experience joy. Joy is the longing desire of the soul. When we meditate, our inner happiness continuously increases. Eventually, it culminates in a state of joy, which we experience 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Agenda. Today, our session will be divided into 3 sessions: the informative session, the practice session, and the interactive session. During the informative session, there will be a lecture about a satsang topic, about the founder, or about some related spiritual topic. During the practice session, you will be given instructions on how to meditate, followed by a period of practice. During the interactive session, you will have the opportunity to ask questions, or there will be a panel discussion. And now, I'd like to introduce today's facilitator. He has over 40 years of satsang experience. He's the grandson of Guru Maharaj. At a young age, he joined the satsang and began spreading it throughout India. Upon arriving to the United States, both he and his wife began conducting satsang for satsangis. Noticing that the American population was each day becoming more and more interested in meditation techniques, he added innovations to satsang to make it more accessible to Americans, for that matter, listeners throughout the world. He continues his mission of teaching all who are interested in learning satsang, regardless of social status, color, or creed. Currently, he travels throughout India and the United States conducting satsang while maintaining his duties as a father, a husband, and an IT executive. Today, he will teach us a rare and ancient form of satsang as revived and enhanced by Guru Maharaj. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Sanjeev Kumarji.
Oyaji, we can't hear you.
Okay, good morning again then. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, perfect. Sorry about that, but welcome everyone. Happy Saturday. Uh, Last week we talked about the 5 steps again. Maybe we should just quickly revisit, and after the session, maybe, uh, you know, um, talk about some of the, uh, you know, core aspects of those 5 steps. I think there were two things that were running in my head today. So, Yuan, if we could bring the 5 steps, yeah. Um, so we do talk about uh, light, love, and peace, as that's what we would get if we continue to deepen and broaden our satsang practice. So interestingly, when I uh, looked at this pyramid again, so if right at the top, above the 5 levels, was the ocean of peace, the second one, the realm of love, would be the unconditional um, love, pure love. So peace at the top, and absolutely pure, unconditional love in the realm of love. And the knowledge is also light. I mean, in the light we see clearly. So that's pretty much, interestingly, is light, love, and peace. Um, that kind of describes the top of this pyramid in some ways. So that was one thing that, you know, when we talk about light, love, and peace, it's actually, that's what you would embody if you reach those stages. The second thing was that, when you turn towards, exploring your purpose, exploring who I am, exploring how I can be more self-aware, more, uh, you know, think about consciousness. As soon as you do that, you move from the realm of the world into the realm of life. And typically, as we have been talking about, like breathing exercises, chanting, pilgrimage, reading scriptures, um, any effort, quote unquote, like when you make an effort, because I always tell people that effort versus effortless. So meditation to me is going from effort to effortless. Um, so, so realm of life is where physical activity is important. It is the focus, and the physical activity um, then takes you to a point where you realize that um, your mind is getting concentrated. So if you're chanting, for example, or if you're even, you go to the church, if you actually, uh, you know, don't get distracted and you are in it, then you find that you are calming your mind. You are, you know, um, so as soon as you realize that the effort that I'm making is actually calming my mind, so then you cross the realm of life into realm of mind, because now your focus becomes, how do I go further in, from calming my mind to more almost like controlling or toning my mind. So um, and that is where uh, your focus becomes the mind itself. You know um, so manifestations, concentration, and deep effortless meditation, quote unquote, becomes the focus. So that's the realm of mind. And when you actually get into those deeper, um, you know, states where your mind is unwavering, you suddenly realize things that you were not realizing. So some dormant um, intellectual capabilities show up. They just show up. And that's the realm of knowledge. um, you know, you now start perceiving very abstract things. You know, you think it's like, instead of me saying that you think through situations more neutrally and use reason, to me, um, I think the way I would describe it is that when, with my mental powers that I gained in the realm of mind, I look at any subject, any object, any, um, you know, um, anything that I have to process with my brain, I suddenly find that I have like lot more clarity than ever before. And that's realm of knowledge. When I am able to realize that, love thy neighbor is actually not just a statement, it's my internal state, then my love for the environment, um, the caring, the compassion, the kindness, and all that, just, again, it's you're another maturity step, and how I am interconnected with everything in my environment, and that just opens up, um, uh, you know my inner being to this out of body experience, and then I'm at peace. So a very quick um, description of how we mature through this pyramid. And the reason I love this, other than like it just talks about like how you focus from body to focus on breathing, to focus on the mind, to focus on your brain, to focus on your identity, and resolving your ego into the bigger, you know, entity beyond um, us, and that's like literally in my view, the definition of higher consciousness. Um, So all this, just, one of the aspects I like about this is that it kind of inherently shows that, one, we can improve, two, we can, um, you know, um, there is a long way to go for all of us to, just continue the journey and go deeper, um, or go higher on the pyramid, so to say. All right, on that note, let's practice, and then I think I would like to at least have some discussion on this today after the session. All right, so standard approach that Guru Maharaj perfected, and basically, not only it can, concentrate your mind, but gives you a glimpse of the realm of knowledge, in the sense that of light, in which you, quote unquote, enlighten your inner being, and then, uh, by becoming one with that, you are moving towards the realm of love, as well as, becoming an observer, which is so essential to this access, to moving upwards. So, um, relaxed posture, eyes lightly closed, um, and think of this transcendental light in front of us that's entering our heart, distributing throughout our body, and that we are becoming one with this energy, one with this light. Mind wanders away, then bring it back to this thought, and this thought alone, that this light is in front of us, entering our heart, distributing throughout our body, and we are getting completely immersed in this light. So we'll have music before the meditation and after for transition in and transition out. Let's start now. Hi, Pant. How are you?
How are you? Good
Good.
morning, good evening.
Yeah. I have started liking Happy Saturday. It's like morning, afternoon, evening. It's all Happy Saturday.
Got a full session today.
Yeah. Yeah. You had to drop off last week, so yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
So I thought like let's revisit it a little bit and see anything you want to share.
Yeah, sure. This, whatever the pyramid we are sharing is like the five sheets, right? Panchakosh, Maya, what we call it. It's like layers to be removed one after the other to reach the conscious. So it's basically the step by step guidance to remove the ignorance. That's what people say.
Yeah.
So maybe it needs heavy practice and uh, to understand and move to that ladder.
Yeah. And today I was thinking, like we it also shows that actually if we don't look at when we look at layers, so at all times those layers are working for us, right? So it's the physical body, it's our you know the oxygen or the breathing system that we have, uh, then then the mental system we have, then the intellectual, the neural network we have, and then it's uh, the interconnect all of these, the consciousness layer. Um, so all those five layers are always working. You have to we do take a lot of effort to make our physical existence um, better, comfortable. We work out, we you know eat well, and so on and so forth, and or maybe we try in our own ways. So yeah, it's but I think this system talks about that we should think about all these five layers, not just the physical body.
Yeah.
So Liz, how are you? It's a happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday, everyone. So great to see all my favorite meditation people here. Um, thank you. All is well. I feel like you said earlier today that part of meditation, and correct me if I'm wrong, is focusing really on a single point or focusing. And I've heard this concept before about how, I mean, almost anything could be a meditation. Even anger could be a form of meditation. That's not what we want. But but because of that single-minded focusness, we could take that and it'll help us, get closer to what we want, I think. Just like that singular focus. I didn't mean to encourage that. I didn't say it quite the way the Buddhist monk said it. She said it a little bit. She was like, let's take that the way we feel it when we feel that and apply it to meditation. And it would be so much more beneficial. It would be so much stronger if we had that singular focus. So that's what I was thinking of when you were talking. And today was a good meditation. It was a good meditation.
Yeah. And talking about, I was actually um, watching a video in the Buddhist monks were talking about various concepts, and one of them was it was like just to be observing your thoughts, or just to be like I think it was almost like almost meditation can be um, when you in like almost like without making any effort, if you just be you know uh, I think there was discussion about like you quietly observe your thoughts, and just it wasn't like interestingly, it was almost going to a point where they were not even saying concentrate. It was just you know you almost like step back and watch. uh, Interesting. There's so many, when you start looking at meditation, I mean, there are like so many methods. And Guru Maharaj actually talks about that, because we have different personalities, different thinking patterns, different ways in which our mind works. So there has to be like, a lot of different ways in which you slice and dice this.
Right. And I guess that's good because a lot of people are very different. And so it may be, I like this form of meditation a lot. And it may be that I agree that it probably will take you quicker to the state that we all hope to gain or
Yep.
be at. But I do think sometimes some people, they're not necessarily ready for this, or maybe it's not their way. It's not the most convenient for them at that moment. Sometimes it takes a little bit of training. So, it's good that there's other ways. Like I feel like, you know, I feel like that's probably relevant to many different things, but um, I think it's nice to have a variety of pathways because there just is a variety of people and they all
Yep.
respond differently. One other thing before I hand off my little mic or the torch here that I really liked that you said was you brought up this love your neighbor and the state of mind, like to cultivate that as just like a natural state. And it's so true, like in that meditation can help us get there, but it is just a saying for many, and even for me on some days, right? But it doesn't have to be, and I think meditation does get you there. I loved what you said about how we are all interconnected. Compassion can extend towards anything in your environment, a plant, you know, um, it just, that is, and I do really feel that meditation helps get us to that state where it's not just, oh, I'm pretending that I'm
Correct.
connecting.
Yep. Yeah, it's there is a distance between saying and doing. So closing that gap, right,
Mhm.
is to get in that state. So Eddie, or what do you say?
I always like hearing you discuss the five pyramids because I think it gives us excellent model for us to understand the work that we have to do, where we are in the work that we have to do. So, we're told that we start at the realm of the mind, but even though we start there, we still have these strong attachments to worldly things or worldly objects, whether they be tangible or intangible. And so we must turn away from those by the use of detachment, and in order to experience the higher realms. Now, Guru Maharaj has told us, he says that there are various samadhis that are to be experienced in these higher realms. And so we should expect that that will be the case. And, you know, I would go even further to say that we never know um, when a time will come during our practice where you actually, whether it be transitory or not, you experience one of these higher states. And the thing I like about that is that once you sort of experience, you get a taste of it, then it's something that you know exists. And so that wall of doubt that prevents you from making further progress um, breaks down. Basically, it becomes destroyed. And so it's no longer an obstacle for you. So, in the back of your mind, once you believe that it can happen again, then I think you become a stronger actor in meditation, and your progress will be enhanced. And then, you know, as I hear the various people speak and you and talk about the things that Guru Maharaj taught, I find in those sessions that Guru Maharaj sort of laid down some nuggets, some gold nuggets that we can follow to help us expedite our progress. And I'd kind of like to enumerate those right now, if you will. One of the things he said was very important, was detachment, and we talked about that on various occasions. And then two others are, the idea that we should surrender ourselves to Guru, and kind of that's uh, more like developing an affection or a connection or being drawn into Guru. And as you do that, your mind becomes calmer and it becomes easier uh, for Guru to perform the cleansing. And once that's the case, he can infuse more of his energy at a much higher rate or at a higher intensity, and thereby improve or increase your progress. And so that's one of the things that we can develop. And now the other was, let's see what that was. Said detachment, surrender. Well, I've got the third one.
Yeah, it'll come back to you. But see, the somehow, and again, it might just be my mental block or the way. See, surrender is talked about a lot, but I personally think that the English word surrender and um, is has a, like, um, to me, when I think about those, you know the example that I take when, how do you increase your capacity? So my father used to talk about, like, your inner self is like stone, and then it becomes more like a cotton ball. So stone put in the water, you put it out there, and it heats up very quickly. So it's like you do satsang, you go back to your work, very quickly you are back to square one, because the capacity or the absorption of the energy that is charging you and refreshing you and uplifting you, the capacity hasn't developed. So you go back to square one very quickly. uh, then the next step is when your inner self becomes like a cotton ball, and when you absorb uh, you know this cold water, you put it back in the sun, and it doesn't get heated up very quickly. So it takes time. So stone would go back, heated up in the sun very quickly um, after it was dipped in water. But the cotton ball absorbs that. And that, so with meditation, with satsang, this second stage comes very, very quickly and gets deeper and deeper. But the third stage that my father talks about is like, um, uh, your inner self becomes like salt, and when put in water, you can't find salt no more, right? And it's all water. So to me, that's the third stage. What you're referring to, and Guru Maharaj talks about, is like when you uh, become one with the bigger entity and then take shape of the bigger entity. um, that is actually surrender. But, I mean, for people unaware of that fact, feel like I have to surrender myself. But actually, in my view, uh, when you do yoga or satsang, as soon as you take the company of sat, the positive energy, to a point where you have surrendered to it, which is actually you have become one with it. And once you unite with it, you take the shape of that larger entity, right? So, uh, losing your entity to a higher entity and becoming one with the higher entity, you become the higher entity, right? So, so you know, the thing is like, yeah, that's why it is important. That's why it is, something that just you take. So like from limited to limitless, from a smaller entity to you know a much larger entity. So yeah, it to me it's like surrender doesn't, I don't know, I mean, it's like, if I was to explain that, and personally, I always, as a, you know, as I was growing up, I was like, I had this question, and this example I knew for a while, but then it grew on me, and then I found that this third stage of the salt becoming water, like, or, you know, melting away into it and becoming that larger entity, and inseparable, right? So in the third stage, you become inseparable from, the, you know, so then you become the sat. Then you know, then you are the energy, right? And that's what satsangs as a destination is.
Yeah, I
That's
remember.
sorry, that, that's like the pyramid when you move from knowledge to the larger wisdom. Okay, kind of bhakti, whatever, love, whatever you say. The surrender becomes the byproduct of that. Surrender is not the destination, so to say.
Right.
So so when you transform through self-realization from knowledge to the larger one, then you and also that becomes the surrender becomes the one of synonymous to that, not the main one, but synonymous to that, possibly.
Yep. Yeah, Eddie, you were saying something.
I was just going to say, I remember the third one is constant remembrance.
No, actually, I don't know. Again, there is a little subtle difference. And maybe uh, I'm getting out on a limb here, but see, the thing is, I remember something else, right? Like I am remembering that something, but once I am, once I am, then like so remembrance is still a practice, but the destination is that I am, right? So so once you reach there, because you reach there with remembrance and all that, you still will talk about to other people about that. But hey, uh, when I'm always with the energy, what am I, it's like, uh, so if you are with uh, that presence, then it's the result of the remembrance. You know what I mean? All right. So on that note, so Shivangi, anything to wrap up?
Namaste, Ji. Hi, everyone. Um, I do have a question, but if we are on time, we can discuss it on Tuesday because it might take some time.
Sure. So what's the
Uh,
question?
so we've been talking about detachment, surrender, and constant remembrance, and we've had discussions around these topics in our sessions before as well. My question is around detachment. So I realize that's an important thing that we need to sort of bring into our life for our spiritual progress and for us to further move ahead in the journey. But I also think how do I practice that in my life? Like I'll give you an example, right? So like this last 1 month, I've been a little distracted with what's going on with my work situation, and new opportunities are coming up, and I mean, what does detachment look like in this scenario? Like, I mean, I really want to go after this opportunity, and I'm like pretty obsessed with it at the moment, but is that like, do I need to like take a step back and
So I'll leave you with some food for thought. Okay. Um, so the thing is that again, like a lot of other concepts, we think that detachment is something that we can't put our arms around, right? To tell you the truth, what we just did, the meditation we did, is detaching ourselves from everything else. So when you meditate, when you are in satsang, you have forgotten about a lot of things, hopefully, and that is the beginning of detachment. That's it. So we'll leave it there, and we'll talk more maybe in the next session.
sounds good?
All right.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Happy Saturday, everybody.
Happy.
I just want to also welcome Katie. I don't know if y'all saw Katie. I came in a few minutes late, but she's a first time call at the time today.
So, so Warren,
Yeah, first time call. Katie's on here. I think she's still on here.
I don't see the
Pinckney. She muted. Hey, Katie, can you unmute? Just want to introduce you.
I don't see on the connection list, the participant list.
Okay.
So maybe next time.
Okay.
All right.
So,
All right. So for everyone, happy Saturday, and see you all pretty soon. Take care, and we'll see you all very, very soon in Satsang.
Namaste, Bhaiya ji.
Namaste, Bhaiya. Bye.
Bye,
Namaste.
everyone.
Bye.
Thank
Bye.
you so much.
all right. Thank you.
Hello.
Take care, everyone.
Bye, Eddie,
Bye
Warren,
bye. See you later. Have a good week.
Swangi, Rajat.
नमस्कार भैया.
नमस्कार नितिन जी. नमस्कार संगीता जी. Tilak, KP Singh ji.